Have you ever held on to a grudge for 15 years?
I mean, 15 years back, I wasn't old enough to hold a grudge, so.
Well, I mean, I don't know about you then, but clearly one Formula 1 or ex-Formula 1 driver who's been holding on to a little bit of a grudge, Felipe Massa. It's 2023 and the last time he was competing for a title was 2008, and now it turns out he's, basically asking for financial damages for losing out on that title. Interesting.
I mean, I don't blame him. Look, if I'm going to be working that hard and my championship is sabotaged because of some other sabotage that was happening in Renault, I would want money for it.
Oh, you're giving away spoilers already, huh? Very interesting. But in case any of you have not seen the news, basically what has been happening is that Felipe Massa is in fact claiming damages for having essentially been cost the 2008 World Drivers' Championship. Now, in case you're wondering why, let's go all the way back to 2008, back when V8 engines and refueling in pit stops, another spoiler, was still a thing. Now, back in that time, 2008, it was a title fight between Lewis Hamilton and Felipe Massa. Massa ended up losing the championship by 1 point, but he believes that he should have been the rightful world champion. Why? Because there was one particular race in that year, the Singapore Grand Prix, which essentially was decided by full-blown cheating, and this is not something new. It's a well-known fact. The Renault team at that point, consisting of Fernando Alonso, Nelson Piquet Jr., essentially conspired to ensure that Alonso could win the race. How? Well, Piquet ended up causing a bit of a crash that was pre-planned, and Alonso, who had already pitted, was basically the beneficiary of everyone in front of him going in for a pit stop. But in case you're wondering where it is the Massa angle comes in, now this is where things get really interesting. Massa was leading that race. When he was leading that race, he went into the pits because, of course, free pit stop with a safety car. But due to the fact that Ferrari were double stacking both him and Kimi Raikkonen, well, they ended up messing up his pit stop a little bit, to the point that the fuel rig, which of course they had to refuel his car, ended up coming off. Thereafter, he had to serve a drive-through penalty. So double whammy right there and then. Not only was he delayed an exit, after that he ended up finishing second last on the day because 14 cars ended up finishing that race. He finishes 13. Not the best of days for Massa, and to make things worse, his then title rival Lewis Hamilton finishes on the podium. So
followed by Nico Rosberg.
Yes, interesting little foreshadowing there. But that's the major thing. Now, this is the let's say the backstory of this particular debate. I for one don't agree with you. I don't think he should be looking for financial damages. If I'm going to go through the effort of basically trying to get what was essentially damages, I'd be wanting the championship.
I mean, no, I think it's too far ahead in time for you to reverse. I think it would be impossible for FIA to.
It would be impossible now.
Yeah, to reverse the world championship or whatever. And then, it would be a whole disaster if that happened. So I think it's very, very incredibly smart from either Massa himself or his lawyers.
Team.
Now, whoever's doing that. But I mean, that's really smart that you're not suing for anything else but money. Like, okay, you've lost your time, you've lost your effort, might as well get the money for it.
And by the way, these like that particular year for Massa was amazing due to one very simple reason. He was Ferrari's official number 2 driver. Don't forget, this is in an era when Ferrari were very clear who the number 1 and number 2 were, and Massa was essentially the contracted number 2. Don't forget, 2007 was Raikkonen who was the world champion, so he would have been the one expected to lead the charge again. He disappointed in his second year in the team. Massa very admirably took the fight to Lewis Hamilton and ended up losing to 1 point. He was actually technically world champion for about 20 seconds. In his own home race.
But I think we should go into the details of the story a bit more, because it leaves it a bit open-ended that we should give all the details.
Actually, there is one thing I omitted. Yes.
So what happened was Renault was in shambles.
Yes,
the parent company or whoever manages the whole corporate thing, it was in shambles, and basically the F1 team was told that if you don't win even a single race in this season, we're pulling the plug on the team. And and then the team bosses decided that we should sabotage this race in particular, where we cause Nelson Piquet Jr. to crash at turn 7.
17 if I'm not wrong.
Specifically because there's no runoff area, and the car would have to be cleared off by a crane. So a safety car would come in.
Exactly.
And that would mean that Alonso, who would already pit before the crash was supposed to happen, so they had planned all what lap it would happen. Right?
Their plan essentially, once Alonso was done, he would be told on radio to pick up the speed.
Yeah.
And when he did that, because obviously in that turn, if you went on the throttle too hard, you'd hit the wall, and that's
Yeah.
what happened.
So Alonso went on to
Win the race.
yeah.
Exactly.
And then, but what happened was, in all of this, not quite related to Massa, but it is
Unfortunately.
a little bit. Yeah, it's an unfortunate incident
Yeah.
for Felipe Massa. But what happened was, Felipe Massa was pitted, and in an attempt to let him out early, they accidentally left the hose on in his car, and
Yeah.
which caused
Bit of an accident.
bit of an accident, and also a lot of penalties.
Yeah, he got a drive-through penalty because it was
Yeah,
that was how it
unsafe
was,
release.
unsafe release, and therefore he ended up getting the drive-through penalty and ended up finishing second last on the day.
Yeah,
Now
which
see,
is why he finished.
yeah, and now see, look at it this way: if I was Massa, I would be more blameful of Ferrari, because if they didn't mess up that pit stop, he would be on the podium.
Yeah.
And if he was on the podium, then it wouldn't have mattered how many, it wouldn't have mattered, that 1 point wouldn't have mattered,
Yeah.
because he would have had at least 5 or 6 points as a buffer over Hamilton. He would have been the world champion.
Who is Felipe suing?
He's going after both F1 and the FIA.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What are they going to do about it?
Exactly, what can they do about it? Now that's what I don't
He could
understand.
have sued Ferrari.
I don't
He
think.
could have sued Renault.
Maybe Renault, but
Yeah.
again, to be fair, and one of the reasons why this came to light was because it was in early 2023 when the former F1 owner, Bernie Ecclestone,
Yeah.
he gave an interview where he said that him and Max Mosley, who used to be the FIA chief, he's saying we knew about this before the scandal broke. We knew that this was a fixed
So they
race.
kept it hush.
Yes, they kept it hush because they didn't want to impact the result of the World
Which
Championship.
it did.
It did. And he basically
Why?
yeah, that's why I remember. In fact, there is a video, we'll link it in the description as well. It's there previously, which I had done on this channel, in which Massa himself said that I would be looking at options. It's a few months later and he's finally taking this route.
Great. I think that's great news for Massa. I'm all for this lawsuit. I don't know why it's
Taking him so long.
No. Yeah, I think it took him so long because now the FIA chiefs, like you said, admitted to knowing it before the scandal broke.
Possible.
So I think that was one of the, you could, the lawyers would find a motive there.
Yeah, and also another
Yeah.
reason which I remember, which is that because this broke after the award ceremony of the
Yeah.
2008 season,
Okay.
generally speaking, what happens is once the award ceremony is done, then you don't overturn the result of a world championship.
Exactly.
It's why even 2021 there was
So I
no
think
such action they
that
took.
would be one of the grounds for suing, is because
He knows he's not getting the title.
Yeah, he knows he's not getting the title, but they could have prevented. all
Yes,
this
they
mess
absolutely
from
could.
happening.
Incidentally, do you know who used to be, I think, one of the heads at Ferrari at that
Yeah.
point? Stefano Domenicali. That's Stefano Domenicali, who's now basically running the show in Formula One.
Oh.
Very, very interesting indeed. Yeah, but that's just how things go. It's a very funny cycle. But again,
Also quite interesting how Nelson Piquet kind of walked off without any consequences.
yeah, he didn't. There couldn't have been any consequences on him because he was dropped the next day anyway. Didn't matter.
Right, but do you think they dropped him because they were like afraid that
No.
this would come out? And I don't know.
I know. In fact,
Were the team heads, bosses?
sorry. Yeah, they were because Flavio Briatore, who used to be Flavio Briatore and
Yeah.
Pat Simons, if I'm not wrong, were the two main guys in Renault at that point.
And they got a lifetime ban.
Briatore got a lifetime ban, which was later overturned. Simons was given a 5-year ban. So this broke about a year afterwards. So
They don't do scandals like this anymore.
I know, nowadays it's just so squeaky clean.
Yeah.
2021 never happened.
F1 fans need a scandal. Come on.
I mean, we might just get some soon, who knows?
For legal purposes, this is a joke.
Yeah, we don't want actual
Yeah,
scandals. Let's keep the focus on the racing action, please.
Yes.
But I mean, if he has to go through it, and by the way, if you go through the claims that Massa has made, he said that this cost me at least tens of millions of euros in income, which is hard to quantify. But I kind of get it, because if he was world champion, you'd think he'd probably be getting more marketing
Deals,
opportunities
yeah.
and stuff like that, right? So now he's going to sue for that.
All they can do is make an estimate of this is what I
Exactly.
could have gotten and I didn't get it. But there's really no way to put a number on it.
Exactly. I don't know how they're going to put a number on it. In fact, truth be told, I know he's gone for the easier route in terms of getting, money rather than the
Yeah.
title, because it's just been way too long. I don't think he'll get that much money either if it just goes through. Maybe for all you know, the case could just get thrown out.
100 million?
That would be a lot. If he
10
can,
million?
if he can get that, I'd probably be a happy chappy.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Just reach for the moon, Massa.
Yeah, if you reach for 100 million, you might get 10. That's
Yeah.
what you're saying, right?
Still a win-win.
Still a win-win. You get $10 million for like, I don't know, suing.
Yeah.
For actually, technically for a championship that could have been yours.
But I think there could also, out of this lawsuit, there could be no result whatsoever. Because,
Very likely.
I mean, there's nothing to quantify the number upon.
Yeah.
It's just all like moral sort of thing. He lost a lot of respect or whatever.
Not respect, more like a sure shot championship.
No, this is something the lawyer said.
Oh yeah, sure.
That it damaged his image and he lost a lot of respect. So that's one of the grounds for suing.
I don't know. I think if this goes anywhere, he'll be lucky.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, personally, I think.
5 million.
Yeah, maybe that's good. Because I think what the defense can rightfully point out also was that if his team didn't make an error, he'd probably be on the podium of this race anyway. Then he would be asking for this race result to be overturned.
Exactly. So, but I don't think you can sue your team for doing things like that, because as a driver, you also tend to make mistakes. So it's just all human nature, human error. So for once, I don't know, if I was in Massa's place, I would be very happy if I got something out of this. But I don't think he will.
Yeah, I'm also not too sure. I think anything he gets out of this is a win. What he's definitely done is stirred the hornet's nest, got a lot of people talking. And considering the fact that this has been probably one of the more dull off seasons in terms of like driver movement.
Thank you for spicing it up.
Yeah, I think this is the biggest talking point I've seen in the sport in a while. Rest of it is otherwise what? Oh, should they ban DRS? No, won't make a difference.
Don't do that.
Please don't do that. In qualifying, I mean.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. Makes no sense to me. But anyway, this is our thing. Maybe it's successful, maybe it's not. But even if it is successful, it's probably Massa's not ending up getting a lot.
Yeah, and also like let us know what amount should Massa be suing for in the comments.
Yeah, let us know that in the comments. Yes, fun debate that would be to have. And in case you enjoyed this video, please don't forget, like, share, subscribe, tap that bell icon as well. Follow us across social media and
don't forget to download the Sportster app.
Plus, if you're already on the channel, go ahead, check out some other videos that we've done. For now though, from Gargi and me, it's bye-bye.